How do you know when a politician's lying? His lips are moving. Recently, our recently elected Prime Minister, Anthony Albanese, set Australia on the same disastrous heading that Governor Newsom in California said his tragic uh, constituents on with their horrendous energy policy over there in an attempt to save the planet from, climate change, which is just, well, if the ice caps are melting, then I don't see the water levels rising. And if the water levels are rising, why is President Obama buying beachfront property in Martha's Vineyard? Don't get that one. Anyhow, so why is the Prime Minister of Australia making the same mistakes as Governor Newsom in California, when Governor Newsom what does he do over there? He strangles energy consumption in in California by killing coal fire production over there, by killing any possibility of producing clean and efficient nuclear energy over there. About a fifth to a quarter of their energy is produced by solar, and of course that evaporates as soon as the sun goes down. So what have you got left? Wind. Well, wind has a bad habit of disappearing when the sun goes down as well, because as most of us are quite familiar, by morning the wind has a tendency, we tend to find often in the morning that the air can be quite still first thing in the morning. So you can imagine, first thing you do, you get up, you get out in the morning, there's not much light, there's not much wind. What have you got left to generate energy? Not much of anything. So imagine if Australia is set on this sort of heading. So we have solar, which, the further south we go in Australia, the less energy we have. Now, I happen to have solar panels on the roof of my house, and being in Victoria, I remember having a conversation with one energy company, and I was told that in the middle of winter I should expect to have about 1 hour's worth of energy capacity a day off the solar panels on my roof. Now, in Melbourne, that's not much. So imagine, in general, in Melbourne, 1 hour's worth of energy generation capacity a day from the solar all over Melbourne, generally throughout Victoria. Solar doesn't help us much in Victoria. So this far south, solar is about as useful as a hip pocket in a singlet. So what have we got? Plenty of around Victoria. Wind generators. Wind generators are popping up everywhere. Curious, though, I found plenty of mornings where there has been little or no wind. I find it fascinating, though, that there have been mornings when I've been out in the country going for a drive, zero wind. Why are the wind turbines turning when there's no wind? Curious. I'll get back to that. Anyhow, so our great energy czar, our Prime Minister, sets us on a trajectory to 2035 where we're going to get rid of all gas and diesel cars, and he's going to save the world from these vehicles and save Australians from the terrifying outcome of these cars, these horrible emission producing cars. And he's going to save us all from these things, and we're going to just have electric vehicles. electric vehicles. He's going to save us all. Okay, well, how are we going to go about that? Let me think. Well, I just did some math. Simple math. I don't think he's done that. See, my brother-in-law and his wife, my sister-in-law, have a Tesla vehicle. And a little bit of math on that thing. Would you believe that that vehicle requires the energy put out by 2 wind turbines, the entire energy from 2 wind turbines a day to put a full charge into one of those things? Now, that's the entire output, plus a bit extra, just to charge that car. Now, if every household in Australia requires an electric car, imagine how many of those wind turbines we're going to need. We're going to need at least 2 wind turbines per house, just for the sake of wind. And of course, because solar's not going to be good to, solar's going to be no good at night to run everything. And I hear some people saying, well, we'll be able to store extra energy in batteries. Batteries would be good, except for one small problem. See, there isn't enough lithium on this planet to furnish us all with batteries for these cars, because I read somewhere that there isn't enough lithium to provide enough batteries for 10%, even 10% of the vehicles that we're going to need to furnish even the American market with enough cars. The lithium is a rare earth element, and there just isn't enough. As it is, Russia produces lithium, and there are lithium mines in Africa, but even those mines aren't producing enough lithium at the moment to produce enough lithium to create the batteries that we require. Now, are there other technologies? Maybe. I seem to remember about a bit over a decade ago there was an alternative that was going to be produced in South Australia, but there was a startup being produced there. I think they were going to do something with silicon, liquid silicon, if I remember rightly, but somehow that just upped and vanished. I don't know what happened with that. Love to see that technology. It was apparently going to be about 10% the cost of Tesla batteries. I'd love to see that revisited. Who knows what happened with that? Perhaps that was another one of those miracle new technologies that was too good and just vanished. Don't call me one of those conspiracy theorists. Anyhow, getting back to it. So Anthony is setting us on a path that is just totally unfeasible. It's unfeasible. Never mind the energy requirements. The requirements to build these cars aren't feasible. We can't build the batteries because we don't have enough lithium to make the batteries. We don't have enough wind turbines to charge the batteries. I read an article recently that the buildings that are being built, even in high-rise Melbourne, the high-rises that are being built in Melbourne today, they don't have enough facilities for charging cars. A recent building that was completed in Melbourne had only 6 charge points put in the building for electric vehicles. Now, those charge points were hotly contested amongst the people who were living in that building, and even if they could put in more charge points for extra vehicles in that building, the wiring in the building couldn't support it because the amount of current required for an electric vehicle is quite high. Now, that's one other thing that a lot of people don't realize, is that the energy requirements of electric vehicles is enormous. Now, which one thing people like Anthony and the Greens and what have you, I just don't think they really understand. Things like electric buses, electric trucks, electric cars. The electricity's got to come from somewhere. It doesn't just appear in a vacuum. It cannot come from wind farms. It cannot come from solar. It must come from coal-fired plants, or it must come from something cleaner, perhaps even nuclear power plants, if our government would have the cojones to actually build one. But I doubt that they will ever do that. But of course, politicians like Dan Andrews is strangling our state, Victoria, by just constantly reducing the amount of coal-fired plants. Another step into madness there. I'm sure he's gladly saying, "Oh yes, but we've reduced our need for energy in Victoria. We don't need energy. We don't need energy. Mind you, we don't need energy anymore because we're not actually producing anything because we strangled industry in this state because we're not producing anything anymore." Oy, sadly, this country is becoming a banana republic. Anyhow, I digress. Anyhow, so buildings, high-rise buildings, do not have the facilities. They don't have the parking spaces for EVs. They don't have the wiring for EVs. The local grids cannot carry the current to charge all these EVs. The local transformers are not set up to carry the current for these EVs. And of course, the state's ability to generate the power does not exist for these EVs. And if you want an indicator for that, all you have to do is think back to the last summer, when, of course, people in Queensland and New South Wales were running around hysterically wondering where they were going to get the energy to keep their air conditioners on during the summer, because we were having an energy crisis. So, yeah, where is all this power going to come from to charge all these electric vehicles, Mr. Prime Minister? If you can answer that question, perhaps then we can go electric. But you've got to have a heck of a lot better plan than just going, I can turn our country green by killing off diesel and petrol cars by 2035. You've got to have a solid plan before you do that. You cannot kill the cars and expect the country to survive. You've got to create the infrastructure first, and it ain't there. That's how I know our politicians are lying to us. I hope you found this useful. Take care, Australia. I hope to talk to you again.